Welcome back to Marketing with WordPress 21 Ways in 21 Days. And in this lesson, we're going to talk about installation and setting up WordPress. We're going to cover what is cPanel. We'll talk about one-click install, Fantastico, why you should change your password after you install WordPress, and automatic updates, which allows you to set WordPress to automatically apply new updates when available. So we'll get started on that. All right, so here we are in cPanel, and this is what you'll see after you've set up your WordPress hosting account. cPanel is pretty common with most hosting panels, and it's the dashboard that controls everything related to your website or your web hosting account. Not only do you have the ability to create your website, but you have the ability to do many different things. So this is the cPanel for Greenhost USA, and you can see that there's different sections and different icons. Each setup of cPanel will actually look different. There's different templates that you can choose. This is just the one that gets installed by default. You can see here at the top are software and services, preference, mail, files, logs, security, domains, databases, and advanced. Databases, this is where your WordPress databases will be stored under MySQL, and you can actually access those. This app here, this PHP My Admin, will give you access to your WordPress database. So if you have anything, if you have any problems or anything like that, you can certainly go in and take a look at those. We're going to take a look at the software and services, the quick install, and Fantastico Deluxe. But I'll just let you know a couple of things on here. Your email, you can set up your email accounts for your domain name. You can certainly do that and set up as many of those as your hosting plan allows you. You can set up your FTP accounts, and that's where you would transfer files to your WordPress website. You can do that through any FTP app. The one that I use is called FileZilla, and you can go and just do a search on Google to look for FileZilla. And then you can create subdomains too. If you want to install more than one copy of WordPress to a website, you can certainly do that. My website, for example, has book.dennisjsmith.com, as well as many other subdomains that all have a different WordPress installation, different themes, so that I can promote things like my book, or I can do things like creating custom pages for my Facebook page, and I can do that by setting up subdomains. So you can take a look at that in cPanel. And if you just type in cPanel into your into Google, you can find out more information on cPanel. We're going to talk about the quick install and Fantastico. Quick install is actually proprietary to Greenhost USA and also with HostGator. And then Fantastico here is what most other hosting companies will use. You can use either Quick Install or Fantastico to install WordPress, and both of these applications feature one-click install. Basically, you just type in some information and click install. Now, before we install WordPress, we're actually going to go back here and we'll create a subdomain so that I can install it onto its own subdomain rather than going over the top of something that I already have installed. Here we are at the subdomain screen, and we're just going to type in a name for the subdomain. And this is going to be before my domain name, so you can see the dot there. And it's going to create the document root. And if everything is good, we should be able to install this and create, and it should go through and install and have a new subdomain for us to put WordPress on. It can take a few moments depending on your internet speed, and my internet speed here is a little slow right now. So we'll wait for this, give it a little time here to install, and you can see that it's been created. And I can go back now and install WordPress. So we're going to back up to the main menu for cPanel. Actually, we're going to go here to home to get back to that. That's just taking us back to the subdomain menu. So we're going to take a look. Let's go to quick install first. Remember, this is proprietary to HostGator sites. So if you're hosting with HostGator, you'll have access to this. You can see here's the domains that I have installed already. And over here to the left are all of the different software applications that your hosting company has available for you to install. And there are a lot of them. And I really haven't used like many others except for WordPress, but you can see there's some e-commerce software. And there's different forum software. So if you want to create your own forum, you can certainly do that. Guestbook, mail software, all kinds of stuff. So if you want to do some research, you can figure out what each one of those do. We're only concerned about WordPress, and it's here at the top. We're going to come back to this because I want to show you Fantastico, what that looks like. All right, here we are on the homepage for Fantastico, and we're getting ready to install WordPress. We can see, just like quick install, that off to the left hand side here we've got our choices of software that we can install on our website, but we're only concerned with WordPress right now, so I'm going to click on WordPress and it will take a moment to load. It will show me that I have already a current installation of WordPress, but that's okay. We want to go ahead and do a new installation, so we're going to click on new installation, and it tells us the file information. And here we are, and we're going to pick which directory we want to install it on. So I've already created the subdomain, so I'm going to go ahead and install it on fantastico.greenhostUSA.com. And I could install it in a directory if I wanted to, but I'm just going to have it installed to this particular root right here. And then we're going to go down, and it says leave empty to install in the root directory of the domain. And we want to give it admin access, so I'm just going to put that in here, and then I'm going to enter in a password. We're just going to go ahead and I'll put that in there, and admin nickname. So we're just going to go ahead and put this in here as my name. Email address, so this is the email address that we want it to send email to, and you'll want it to have it correct in there, because what it's going to do is, even though it's going to give us the password that it's going to generate, it's going to email that to us too. And give it a site name, so we're just going to say Fantastico WordPress install. This is my WordPress website. And you can change this once you have WordPress installed. This is just to get started. And then we're going to click install WordPress, and if everything goes correctly, it should take just a few moments to install. Again, it depends on your internet speed, and it looks like it's done. It says here's where the access is, right here. And I'm just going to go ahead and open up a new browser tab and put in that domain name there. We might not be done yet, so let's go ahead and we'll just go back here and click finish install. Okay, so it has that information, the username and password, and tells me to bookmark this site. Now if I click on it, it should take me to the admin login page for the WordPress website, and there it is. So you just want to type in your username and password that you created, and you can check on Remember Me, and once you log in you can change that information too. I'm going to leave Remember Me unchecked because this is just for demonstration purposes, and click on the login button, which I have, and it's just taking a moment to load. and it should take us to the dashboard for WordPress, which is where we're at. The version that gets installed by the hosting company is actually a prior version, so 3.9.1 is available. It says please update now, so you'll want to do that. And then up here at the top here, you can see the number 5 with the circle going around. Those are the plugins. And you can go in here and you can click on that, and that'll check the plugins and also the themes. So these are, every time WordPress gets a main update, they have a new theme that comes out. So it has all of the previous themes on here, which is these 3 right here. So you probably want to go ahead and update those first and then update WordPress. It'll only take a few minutes to do that. But just for this particular lesson, I wanted to show you how easy it is to install WordPress with Fantastico. So now we're going to go back over to, oh, here, I wanted to show you here. If you want to know more about Fantastico, you can go to Wikipedia. It gives you some more information exactly what that is. And we're already good there. So we want to go back to the control panel. We want to X out of this. Now I want to show you how you can install with quick install. So here we are back on the main dashboard for cPanel, and we just want to click on quick install right here. This is just like Fantastico. We had talked about how you have the choices of software off to the side. So we're going to do the same thing. We're going to click on WordPress. Gives you some information on the version. This particular version right here is 3.9.1. So HostGator, for some reason with quick install, has the most current version. So we're going to click on continue, and we're going to do the same thing, but we're going to pick quick install right here. Give it an admin email address and my WordPress website, admin user, give it a name, click install. This is a little bit different than Fantastico because you can see it didn't allow us to pick a password, but it's pretty quick installing the software. And then you can see down here it's giving us a congratulations message that here's our username and password, and we can change that once we log in, which we're going to click right here, and it's going to do the same thing. It's going to take us to the WordPress admin login screen, and once it does that, then you can log in and you're set to go. All right, so here we are at the login screen for WordPress, and we're going to pick up where we left off. We talked about installing WordPress, how to use cPanel, getting that all ready to go. Now we're going to go just a little bit into WordPress so you can kind of see how to get started. I'm not going to go too much into detail because there are other training programs out there that will teach you a lot more specifically about WordPress. And this particular course, we're focusing on marketing with WordPress. So we're going to go ahead and log in, and I'm using the password that I was assigned when I did the quick install for WordPress. And this is something that you want to change as soon as you get into WordPress. You're going to go into, excuse me, into users, and you're going to click all users. And this is also where you can add additional users. Here's my WordPress profile, and I'm going to go ahead and edit that. It'll take just a moment for this to load. A couple of things that you can do while in here. You can change the color for your WordPress. This is something that's new within the last year. So if you want a different look and feel, you can certainly do that. Here are all of your options. Your user's name cannot be changed there. I want to go into password, which is down here at the bottom. You want something that is easy for you to remember, but hard for others to guess. It's just showing me my password is very weak, but I'm going to come back in here and change it at a later time. I just want to change it for now, but it tells you right here that the password should be at least 7 characters long. To make it stronger, use uppercase and lowercase combinations of letters, numbers, and symbols like the exclamation point, a quote, or a question mark, $sign, the caret sign, any of those there to make your password stronger. And it'll let you know once it gets to that point. But just for show, we're just going to change the password. Off to the left here is your menu. This is pretty much going to look the same for a fresh WordPress install, except for this marketplace right here. Some hosting providers might not have that. But you got your Jetpack, you've got your posts, media, pages, comments, appearance, which is your look and feel, your menu settings, plugins, which give you more functionality, and your users, we've talked about that, tools, general settings, and you can collapse this menu too if you would like once you get used to where everything is at. We're going to go into settings here. We're just going to change a few things. I'm going to click through these, show you a little bit about it, and then we'll be done. So you've got your site title and a tagline. You want to clear this out of here. Most people forget about that and leave it there, and it shows up when their site is live. It's your tagline. So in this case, I've named the site Marketing with WordPress. I'm going to do 21 ways in 21 days, which is the tagline. This is your URL for your website and the site address. You want to be careful when playing with these, so you'll want to do some investigation to see what these do before messing around with it. If you want to give people a membership to log into your site and give them a default role, you can certainly do that. Make sure that you don't give admin access or any of these upper roles here to someone who you might not want access to the time, or excuse me, to your website. We're going to pick a time zone here. I'm in Idaho, so I'm going to find Boise, and I'm just hitting B, and there it went by. I'll try that again a little bit slower. I'm just hitting the letter B, and it's going to populate to every city that's in the list with B. And I probably missed it, so I'm going to go back to the beginning here. Try this again. This is what happens when you miss it. There it is. So I'm going to select Boise and set your date format and your time. So if you're in a foreign country and you use a little bit different date formatting, you can certainly do that. I'm going to use this one right here and use the uppercase AM. The week, we're going to just go ahead and change this to Sunday and then save your changes. We'll let those save. And then we'll go into this next setting here, which is writing. This is just some information on formatting, default categories for a post. We haven't created any categories yet, but that's done under the post settings and there we go, there's categories and tags. And so if it was something different that you maybe set up, like a general category or something like that, that's anything that you post, if you don't select a category, will go under uncategorize. And then the default post formatting, you can pick these and you can take a look at the information on WordPress to find out what each one of these does. There's a little applet here called Press This. If you want to drag and drop this into your browser, It's a shortcut, so anything that you find on the web, if you want to publish it to your blog, you can do that. Email formatting, different services. Not going to go too much into these. I don't really change a lot of these, but there is more information out there on what each of these do. These are your reading settings. You can set up, what your front page displays according to your theme. You can have a static page and create a page, and then from this drop down list, once you have pages created, you can select a page that might be your default homepage instead. Search engine visibility. So if you don't want the site to index while you're setting it up, you can turn that off so you can um, have Google skip your site. Discussion is commenting. Media is your set up the way that it handles your images, and permalinks are the how it handles URLs. So typically it might give you your domain name .com / and then a few letters and then a number or something like that. You really want it to display the name of your post, typically from your title, so that Google sees that the keywords in that URL. So it might be something like in this website here, we've got dennisjsmith.com / and then the article might be marketing with WordPress. So it has that in the URL instead. So make sure that you set up the permalinks. There's information on that. WP Super Cache is something that's installed by the hosting provider. So depending on your hosting provider, you might have that, you might not. So that's just some of the stuff that you should take care of right after you install WordPress to get it set up. And then you're going to start coming in here and setting up probably your pages first, getting your pages set up accordingly, and then start posting, set up Jetpack so that you can get your stats from your visitors, and also setting up a plugin called Akismet, which protects you from spam. And then we've also, in some of these lessons, we're going to talk about WordPress search engine optimization. So you want to have a plugin for that too. It doesn't come in there by default, so that's something that you want to install after you've got WordPress set up. But I'm going to go ahead and leave it at that. So again, that's a little bit about installation and setting up WordPress. In the next lesson, we're going to talk about themes for marketing. So I'll show you some of the themes out there that I think are good themes for those of you who are doing marketing out there, where you can go to get those and just look at a couple of those themes and some of the landing page themes. We'll see you in the next lesson.